Lorenzo Sharangia, are you okay? Wind up. Okay, there it is.
So, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about the cinematography brainwash effects based on the Georgian-Russian war that affected the life of the millions of people. This war is also known as South Ossetian War, or even for Russians it is known as 5-Day War. Anyway, this was an armed conflict in August 2008 between Georgia on one side and Russia and separatist governments of South Ossetia on the other side. Even in the wake of 2008, South Ossetia was recognized as an independent country from the nations like Tuvalu, Nauru, Venezuela, of course Russia and Nicaragua. It's also the interesting fact that none of the NATO countries recognized its independence. Anyway, in my presentation, in my speech, I just want to compare both of the movies, as from the Georgian side, also from the Russian side, about the one war. And to be honest, while I was watching these movies, I found there some similarities, and exactly about it, I'm just going to talk now. But like while my speech, you can see the video about the war.
Attacks are growing. Both villages and peacekeepers are under fire now. We have casualties, dead and wounded.
We must respond.
I agree.
If we respond, we are at war. We cannot risk it.
Mr. President, if our troops cannot return fire, they cannot evacuate the wounded.
We will maintain ceasefire as long as we can.
So, I want to start my speech with the words of Walter Lippmann, who once said, "We must remember that in time of war, what is said on the side of the enemy's front is always propaganda, and what is said on our side of the front is truth and righteousness, the cause of humanity and crusade for peace." Unfortunately, I'm sure that all of you know that in our world the war is inevitable. But logically every war is fought on at least two grounds. Firstly on the battlefield, and secondly in the minds of people via propaganda. I'm sure that the persons who are sitting here know that the war every war has its own, every conflict has its own background, yeah? And in my opinion, like the people, ordinary people with different methods are like playing the crucial role in creating this, in creating and in developing of the war, propaganda war, like the TV videos, like the movie shows. These are all of them are the ways of propaganda. But in my opinion, the most the crucial and significant propaganda methods are known as the mass media brainwash, and of course cinematography brainwashes. So I just wanted to say that there are different methods of again to give some information to others, and they are all known as a way of propaganda. Well, I'm Georgian, so me as for a citizen of Georgia, this problem is quite active and considerable. Because of that, I just decided to watch both of the movies, two versions of the movies about one war that are called the Russian movie that is called August 8, and the Georgian movies which is called the 5 Days of War, or like the 5 Days of August. So before the analysis, I just want to give a brief small plot definition of both of the movies. The first one, the Russian version of the war, as I've mentioned, is called the August 8, and it's the director is Janik Faziev. The main is this is about a young single mother who is compelled her way through this Pushkin Valley, where her son is, and her son is on the front of the conflict. But mainly we can divide this movie into two main parts. Firstly, how the boy transforms the war into the fantastic way, and secondly, we can also see the real force, the real definition of the war from the young single mother who is really nervous about it. The second movie is called, the Georgian movie is called the 5 Days of August, or the 5 Days of War, as you can call it. So it's mostly it's drama, mostly centered around the war between Russia and Georgia. So the main accent is of the American journalist, the cameraman, and the assistant, and the native who is fought on the crossfire. Yeah? And so maybe people who are sitting here after this close meeting, that there are not huge similarities between these two movies, but it's just on the first glance, because if we go deeper, trust me, you'll find out that there are like huge similarities between them. Like after I watched this movie, I'll just, the social network Facebook that gives us an opportunity to find the answers from the each age member. So because of that, I done the small survey, and the question was like, did the Georgian movie called 5 Days of War change your attitude towards Russia? To be honest, I was not surprised when I get the results, because of even the 18 years old, the teenagers were always saying that this will really affected them, and I think that this should be a huge message to our government, because we should just take into consideration that teenagers are our future. So if the attitude is almost changed nowadays, in the future plans, the results will be really devastating. And also I've done the small survey for the elderly people who are more than 55 years old, and at this time I was really not surprised, and I was proud of being Georgian, because when I get the results, most of them, the majority of the participants answered that this movie did not affect on them. I think that exactly from this point we can go to the conclusion that our elderly people, we can call them, are well educated, and they're familiar with with Russians or with Russian culture, and because of that, it cannot change any attitudes towards them. In the end, I want just to say that I'm firstly I've just mentioned it at the time, I'm the Georgian speaker, so I'm speaking as from the Georgian side. So for me, it's really difficult to deal objectively with the sensitive issues that touch on things like the national pride. So I just you can see here the video that in this case, the first one is the Georgian one, and the second was the Russian. So in the last case, in the last point of the movie, in the Georgian movie, the Russian soldier is saving Georgia, and in Russian movie, the Georgian is saving Russia. So mostly it is said that in the end of the movie, mainly the aspect is on the psychological side. So everything is going to peace, and we can call it that this was also the biggest part of the propaganda. So I just tried my best to show the both of the videos, and just try about my speech to be objective. And unfortunately, I cannot believe that in this hall, in this room, we cannot find a person on which the work did not affect it. So thanks for your attention.